There has been some discussion about identity in this election. This is the way I see it. Identity is shaped by the life experiences we collect, the relationships we form, and the cultural context that define how we see ourselves and how we see others. Identity can have value or be a liability. It can gain you access. It can get you into college, get you a loan. It can keep you under like an anchor or lift you like 1,000 helium balloons. Identity can even get you shot. Identity is fluid. It can change with time and is often influenced by its previous incarnations. Identity is often determined by the dominant narrative, a narrative that exalts some and diminishes the rest, a narrative that sorts us into good and bad, safe and dangerous, worthy and unworthy. Rarely is there a counter-narrative. Rarely is there a narrative that pushes with equal weight against the national preconceptions embedded into our systems and structures and woven through the fabric of our societal mores. Pushing against that dominant narrative is a political act. Redefining BIPOC identity or LGBTQ plus identity or female identity to have agency over who we are is a political act. To tell our stories and define ourselves in our own context is a political act. This is not identity politics. This is the politics of our identities. I never saw myself in the stories I read or the movies I watched. I never saw people who looked like me in the history I was taught. I began thinking that positions of power were for other people. I began accepting someone else's definition of me. I was being shaped into something less than. I was being formed into something small. In 1971, the United Farm Workers moved from 40 acres in Delano to La Paz in Keene, 10 miles outside of Tehachapi where I lived. I was 5. My cousins were 15 and 16. Along with the UFW came Cesar Chavez, Dolores Huerta, and the Huerta kids, who are around the same age as my cousins. Suddenly and by circumstance, I was growing up in the heart of the United Farm Worker movement. Suddenly, I was at the epicenter of the fight for dignity, agency, respect, and fairness. I was witness to the power of collective determination. I was witness to the collective power of labor unions. Suddenly, there was a counter narrative about people who looked like me, people who looked like my mom and dad, farm workers like my parents. My cousins discovered the Chicano movement, we discovered La Causa, and I found new leaders. I found new heroes, heroes that looked like me. That changed me. It changed the trajectory of my life. This is the power of representation. This is the power of acknowledgement. To see yourself in something big, something strong, something powerful is transformative. My cousins and the children of Dolores Huerta became good friends, and through them, I received a new education, one outside the curriculum of my school. I learned to be proud of who I am. I learned to be proud of where I came from, and proud of people who look like me. We should want a world where every child sees themselves in something bigger. We should want a world where every child is allowed to dream, where every child is allowed to soar, where every child is proud of who they are and sees themselves in the leaders who surround them. Educators can play a big part in realizing all of this. Our world is at a juncture. CTA is at a juncture. We need a counter narrative. We need a narrative that embraces complexity rather than denying it. We need a narrative that values diversity rather than fearing it. We need a narrative that values all voices, a narrative that values all perspectives, a narrative that understands that all people have worth and that we are stronger together than we are apart. CTA can play a big part in forming that narrative, but we need leaders that understand this moment. I understand this moment. I know the difference between identity politics and the politics of our identities. I know that the old playbook is no longer viable, that we're moving into new territory, that sitting quietly in the background with our hands in our pockets only sacrifices those at the periphery of our society. We must be audacious. We must be bold. We must move forward with conviction, and we must be unafraid. We must meet this moment with hardened resolve. We must bend the arc of the moral universe back towards justice. We must be stalwart in the face of chaos. I believe the unlikely candidate has become the candidate for this moment. Someone who understands what it's like to not have enough. Someone who understands what it's like to be stereotyped, to be caricatured, to be the target of racial tropes. Someone who has persevered, grown confidence, and who has not let the bitterness of bad circumstance poison the possibility of a better tomorrow. I want a better tomorrow. Throughout this campaign, I have shared my beliefs, my aspirations, and I have told my story. I am the son of farm workers. I don't come from generational wealth. I don't come from pedigree of leadership, and I didn't attend the best universities. I came to leadership because I don't like bullies. I came to leadership because fighting for what's right is important. Because fighting for a cause is better than fighting for personal advantage, and because lifting people up is better than tearing people down. This moment calls on us to change, to unify. It calls on us to change, to grow. It calls on us to change, to defend our members, our students, and our communities. I won't hide behind a slate. I won't hide behind the accomplishments of others. I won't hide behind others' identities, and I won't unleash the defenders of the status quo to secure personal gain and personal ambition. I am here standing before you with a life experience shaped for this moment because I believe I can help move us forward. I believe I can help us unite, and I believe I can help us grow. I ask that you stand next to me. Stand alongside me. I ask for your support and I ask for your vote because together we are stronger and because together we can accomplish anything. Thank you.